Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a Christmas ornament, or it could be a Santa in the moon or a old man in the moon. We're going to take a piece of basswood here today. It's a 1/2 inch thick. This is about 5 inches long and a 1/2 inch thick. And so this is going to be sort of a semi-relief carving. So hope that you'll enjoy it today and make sure that your tools are ready to go and buffed. And you'll see here in the camera that this is one I've done some time ago. And again, you can see it's just only a half of a face, and so this will be a nice little heirloom that you could hang on your tree. Or like I said, you don't even have to be for Christmas. It could be an old, the old man in the moon. And anyway, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. We're going to take our V tool here, and we're going to again separating our hat and the head here. And I'm going to go all the way around the back of this also too. Now again, when you're holding this, make sure that your grain is running vertical when you're cutting this out. All right. And so you're just taking your V tool and you're outlining the hat and the head area here. And then I'm going to come in and we're going to come along the top of the mustache and come right along the side of the face and the hair where that would be at, as you can see there in the camera. And we're outlining pretty much everything here. Whatever V tool will fit here for you. It's a little too long a handle for me on that one. There we go. Shorten it up and where I can get better control. Going to do the under the nose. Again, we're going to go right across. All right, and then we're going to come up here where the top of the hat goes into the fur. Again, going around the edges. Bottom of the mouth, bottom of the mustache, excuse me. All right, so now we're going to take our knife and we're going to make the stop cuts that we need here on the face. And we're going to come right on around, coming down. And what you're doing is you're putting a stop cut on everything that you just took your V tool and did. If it's easier to put it in your hand, well, I do so, but always remember where that blade is and where it's going and where your fingers are. And we're going to take a soft V here or a U-gouge and we're going to create the crook of the nose just to get us started here. And that's probably going to go bye-bye here in a little bit. And so you'll notice here that we're going to start shaping the brow area, and we're coming in here and kind of angling our knife a little bit, and also we're cutting against the grain here to create the eyebrow area. And we're leaving that up there a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to come in and we're going to make the stop cut in the crook of the nose. And we're going to start dropping back the face here a little bit. Showing separation and rounding things up. We want to get the roundness of the cheek, so we're going to take from the back side of the mustache, coming around with our blade of our knife, creating the depth there that we need to bring the cheek out. I'm going to put a stop cut right here, and to where we can start getting the bridge of this nose more in the center of the eyebrow area. So I'm taking my knife. Again, you'll have to probably draw back in some of your features that you've carved off, but that's all right. Because right now we're dropping that bridge of that nose back, and where we can create the eye socket here in a little bit. And taking our knife, whichever's easiest for you to make this cut. Okay. And again, we're just going to continue to round things. Look up any ideas online or anywhere you can get ideas for ornaments and things like that. They're out there by the thousands. So trying to tuck in the hair under the hat here. Rounding, taking our knife and rounding the hair, the back of the head with our knife here. Again, when you get close to the tip, you want to be careful that you don't break it off if you can possibly help it. If it starts to tear, go the other way. Like right there, it starts to tear. So I'll show that to you in the camera there. See that tear right there? Well, I'll just come back this way. And see how it smooths that out? It gets rid of that tear. All right, now we're going to work in the crook of the nose. And again, this is a type of relief carving. We're putting the features in a flat piece of wood. And we're going to just keep rounding things, get a nice looking cheek here if we possibly can. And then we're going to come from underneath here and get that mustache to where it'll stand out more. Okay, so that's where we're at so far. I want you to be able to see that there. And then keep working our way into these areas here where we need to shape. Start rounding the nose. And creating these facial features on this guy. Gonna tuck that in a little bit there, around the edge of the nose. And leave enough there to where you can put a nostril in there if you want to later on. I think it would look nice if you could. All right, so now we're going to start working on the eye area here and getting us some action here. And we're going to take our pencil. Well, I'll tell you what, first let's come in here and let's downsize that just a little bit more before we pencil in our eye. Because we want to leave this area right in here fairly high for the brow. Okay, kind of see that there. Getting our slope here for our nose. Think about how you're rounding things off and always watching where that tool is going. All right, so again, we want to come in and put in the crook of the nose. Like that there. And then we can take our U-gouge and start going up the side here a little bit to create that little valley, that bridge for the nose, the facial plane. Okay. Again, we're just removing the wood, getting rid of any sharp edges. All right, let's take our pencil here now and let's come in. And I'll tell you what, let's go a little deeper here, right there. There we go. I want to get that eye plane in there pretty good. There we go. Now again, when you're getting ready to do the eye, you want to think about the kind of the size of the eye that you're going for here. We don't want to go real big either, because it'll make him goofy looking. But anyway, we're just going to see how this goes. So we're drawing in the eye there, okay? Remember, it's kind of a football shaped. The eyeball is not. The eyeball is round, but the lids that we have, they kind of shape like that. Now we're going to come in with a V tool and outline our pencil lines, like so. Let's stop and show it to you here in the camera. Let me get my pencil brush there to working. Sweep off the fuzzies. And so now we're going to come in here now and we're going to make 6 cuts to the eye. And again, it's the same principle as we do in our facial expressions that we carve. And again, the outer edge of the eye is not going to be as deep as the inner part of the eye, because it's the inner part of the eye is next to the teardrop, and bridge of the nose, and so that's going to be a little deeper, because the deepest part of your eye is next to the teardrop of it. Okay, so I'll show it to you there in the camera. All right. And then we're going to round that eye by putting a stop cut on top of that eyeball. And just taking your time by taking the tip and going right around that eyeball. Now we're going to come in and taking the tip of the knife and we're going to insert it in there and start removing that little bit of wood on top of the eyeball. And that gives the eye more depth there. I don't know if the camera can pick it up or not, but anyway, it's there. I know it's hard to see sometimes. it's not, you know, in-person classes are, to me, are fun, and yes, and because on the camera, sometimes you can't see everything that you normally would in an in-person class. Anyway, so, all right, we're just kind of shaping his face here a little bit. Okay, now we're going to come in and we're going to put in the upper eyelid area. And there we go. Come right on up here. And like that there. Now we're getting ready to do the bottom eyelid. All right. Okay. So I want to come in here and deepen that just a little bit more to get that nose of that bridge over more where it belongs. All right, now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start shaping the eyeball and getting the right look that it needs to have, hopefully. Again, take your time doing this. You know, cut 4 or 5 of these out and give it a try. And every one you do is going to be a little different. And also, hopefully, it will be, each one you do is going to be better than the first one or the second one or whatever. So again, we're just rounding the eyeball. Taking your very, very sharp knife and getting into these areas here. Taking our brush here, get rid of any little chips of wood there that gets hung up in there once in a while. I had a guy the other day told me, I said, if you don't get the eyes right, really nothing else matters. Well, he disagreed with me, and that's fine, but I said, you know, you can have a great looking foot and great looking hand or whatever, but if you don't get the facial features right, because when we meet people, we look them right in the eye, look in the face, and we smile and say howdy or whatever, but we don't look at their foot or their hand. So it's important that we try our best to get the facial features good. Okay, so there is that. The eye is pretty much done there. And so come in, you may have to tweak it a little bit or whatever. That's fine. And I'm going to come up here a little bit and create more of the eyebrow area. I took a little bit off the bottom of his hat. Okay. And here we go. So now we're going to take a sharp V tool and we're going to put in the eyebrows. Now you can paint these on instead of carving them on, but I like them being carved if you possibly can help it. If you can, carve them on. Yeah, that gave him a pretty serious look there, huh? In that. Yeah. He's looking down on somebody or something. But anyway, that's all right. I'll stop and look there. Now I'm going to draw in the pupil, that way you can kind of see a little bit better there. Maybe that'll help you. And anyway, all right, now we're going to continue shaping the nose. And all of this in here, they'll make this mustache stand out. Now I know it's hard to see because part of the moon is, the tip of the moon is covering up the mustache, and I'll try to turn it here to where you can see it. Sometimes I have to get my angle right to make the safest cut I possibly can. I'm going to go to a little longer bladed knife where I can get in here and get some more action. See how we're getting that mustache to stand out? And now we're going to start rounding that mustache if we possibly can. I'm going to switch to a shorter bladed knife, get better control. That way I'm not carving way out here with my blade of my knife. And that way we have complete control. Last thing you want is losing control of your blade of your knife. Again, think about the pressure that you're putting on your carving as far as cutting it. You know, you're putting a lot of pressure in here, cutting the fibers of the wood to get the results that you're wanting. And continue to tweak this nose a little bit. Okay, now we're going to come in and make this crook of the nose more distinct there, right there in the crook where the smile line begins. There we go. Rounding that nose off. Just take your time. Now, the more you carve over the years and things like that, you know, your pace of carving is going to pick up, and you'll be a much faster carver. But make sure that because you become fast, make sure you're a good carver too. You know, make sure make sure your cuts are good. And all right. All right, we're going to continue to shape this mustache. It'll fit the face better. He just about flew away on me. There we go. You know, when you do get done carving your piece, you know, set it down and look at it, step away from it once in a while, a little bit, and come back and look at it. You'll get a different perspective on it. You'll see things that you need to probably do different, or you need to do different later on when you do another one. All right, now I'm going to take a semi-flat gouge here. This is a 3/4 inch gouge, pretty flat, and I'm just going to come in here and create little dips and crevices here, and to break up this beard. And just shaving all that around. Isn't that sound of that wood beautiful? Cutting through there. Now, on the edges of our moon, it'd be easier for me to take my knife and come back this way and remove the edges off. Even on something like this here, there's no sharp edges on this feller. Okay, so I'm coming this way. I'm going to lay him down here a little bit here on the table and try to get this tapered a little bit. Okay. Now when you get in here, you're going to probably do some chattering, so try to get you a blade that is not so wide. Again, what you may not have it, so just do the best you can in here to make this. Or you can take a U-gouge and come in here, or a semi-flat gouge or whatever, to come in here and clean this area out right here, because the wood of the grain is changing here, and that's why you're getting all that chattering, stuff like that. There we go. Yeah, it's got that good and clean in there. You say, well, Van, you're going to be putting hair there. What does it matter? Well, it does matter, because if you don't get rid of the bandsaw cuts, you're going to have fuzzies there when you bring your U-gouge through there. And so, anyway. Again, we're just coming in and I know it's hard to see what I'm doing in here, but all I'm doing is cleaning off the edges of the moon. All right, that's good enough for there. Now let's work on the hat area. And let's take our knife and start just moving wood that way. Okay, so you'll see here how our finished piece looks there. And again, watch here that you don't break off the edge of the tip of the moon, using deliberate cuts, but lighten up a little bit. Remember, 3 small cuts are better than 1 large one, if you can. Now, you'll notice here I put stars in this one. You can put anything you'd like there, or just leave it alone and paint that thing, or put whatever you'd like on there. You could put some holly if you wanted to for a Christmas theme, or even, you know, you could even put your child's name there on top of the hat right here and you wouldn't even have to dress that down. Just shave off the bandsaw cuts there and carve in that child's name there. That'd be a neat, you know, especially for a baby that's coming into the world or whatever, or a little guy's room or a girl's room or whatever. And we always think about, you know, the moon as a time of a nighttime. When we think about the moon, of course, the crescent moon is what we're carving here. Again, whatever works for you to take this out in here, you know, whatever. Help yourself. All right. See how I downsized the tip a little bit there where it's not sticking out so, and it kind of looked like it's kind of going back that way. So anyhow, like I said, it's your moon, you do with it what you'd like. All right, now we're going to work on the fur part of the hat. We're going to get all this removed off of here because this is the part of the bandsaw cut. The blade goes up and down, creates that. And then we're going to come in here. If it starts tearing, go the other way. Taking the back side of this gouge here and dressing down the front of his hat. Learn to turn your tool over and use it, especially these gouges, because they can do a lot of good for you. Okay, 25% left in the battery here. It's gone. So anyway, as you go through here, we're almost done. You can put in the hair here with a U-gouge. And of course, we want to put in the nostrils before we close down this project here. And so I'm going to turn my piece upside down and come in and put in his nostril. Now remember, you only need to put one in because you're only seeing a half of a nose, not the whole thing. All right. Okay. Good. All right, so look him over, and then, you know, you can come in and you can put some, using a soft V or your U-gouge, and come in here and start putting some nice cuts in here to represent the beard. Things like that there in your carving. Now when you carve hair, make sure you go all the way to the edge if you possibly can. And don't quit about halfway. Go all the way to the edge. And you might want to come back this way and carve and meet the other cuts going this way. But again, don't make your hair straight. You know, twist and turn. And as we start going up this way, why we are, again, we're twisting and turning our piece. And again, the old moon is out there in the elements, you know, and not everything's going to be perfect on him. Again, watching your finger placement back here where your fingers are. And so, as you're going through here, just make your cuts deliberate and knowing where you're going with this. Always pay attention to what you're carving. Don't get distracted by things. And because you look up for like a second or two and that knife or that gouge could be somewhere it doesn't need to be. So just remember that. So it could hurt you, or it could ruin your project. So and you know, come in and make sure all this is good and clean under his hat, because you will be painting this guy whatever colors you'd like for him to be, you know, blues, you know, navy blue, and you know, all these different colors that you can do your moon with. So anyway, you kind of get the idea there in the camera, and just continue to go around this part of the crescent of the moon, and then put some mustache hair in here around the mustache and things like that there, and put some the fur of the hat there, and again, we've got a video on that, on how to put fur in, but again, just come in and distress that and make sure they're going every which way, and don't get hung up on getting everything just so. Just put a lot of this using the U-gouge and just breaking this up, and make sure when you get to the edge of the hat, break it up, and just don't do the surface, do the corners, do the edges of your hat too. All right, well, I believe that'll be all for this project today, and I hope that you've enjoyed this little Santa in the moon, or the man in the moon, whatever you like to call him. And so we look forward to hearing from you. Please leave a comment, ring the bell, and we'll see you real soon.